Hey guys, thought I'd do a video to give a quick overview of my thoughts on the of the up-and-coming British destroyers. This is the Tier 6 Icarus. I'll mostly talk about this one because I'm talking from a position of ignorance. For the rest of the line, to be honest, I haven't really looked at it that much. As an overview, from what I've heard of the British destroyers, and certainly it appears to be in this case, there's no speed booster, they've got lots of smokes, short-lived, and the gunboats, pretty much. But they're an interesting playstyle. I'm starting to get the hang of it. I've had some fairly decent games in this, but yeah, the apparently at higher tiers their detection range is very good as well. At the moment on the Tier 6 Icarus, without the camo skill, the Tier 4 camo skill, I've got 6.6 kilometer detection range, which I'd describe as poor. It's I think there's worse in the game, but there's not many worse at Tier 6. I don't think. And certainly, we're up against other destroyers. You're going to get spotted before you spot them. A big part of that is obvious because as a destroyer, as soon as you get to Tier 4, most destroyers go for concealment expert as well. I don't have this, so I've just got the standard 3-point capsule on this at the moment. And your torpedoes have got a massive 7 kilometer range, so you get spotted at 6.6 with a 7 kilometer torpedo range. It's not great. So, I'm starting to learn. This seems to have a fairly interesting playstyle, and hopefully this game showcases the pros and cons of this and where it can be very good, I think. I'm only just starting to get the idea of where it can be very good, but you'll see a couple of bits where it shows its strengths. So yeah, the consumables on this, you've got 5 smokes, 2 hydroacoustics. Whoa, mental blank. So all I'm doing here is just wait for the torpedoes to kick in. He's around about 7 kilometers away. It's a bit out of desperation, this, but you never know. As you can see, 5 torpedoes per salvo, 2 fully rotatable turrets. That's quite nice. The torpedo speed, I'd say, is a little bit on the low side, and 7 kilometers isn't great either. This is definitely not a sail up to battleships and try and torpedo them kind of destroyer. Yes, you can do, and yes, I have hit destroyers successfully with this thing. But with that 6.6 kilometer detection range and the relatively slow speed of those torpedoes, it's you sort of more in hope than expectation, I think, with the torpedoes. So what I'm doing at the moment is really just trying to take use of the island, so I'm not getting utterly hammered by everything, especially with the spotter plane right above my head. I decided I'm going to tuck in, wait for the spotter plane to circle above me where it's bound to spot me. So it's seen me, take my AA back on, so it's priority target, and just keep an eye out at the moment. So, like I said, I've only got a 3-point caps in this, so the only skills I've got is the, as you can see, the Tier 1 skill that tells you how many people are aiming at you, which I find very, very handy, and the Tier 2 skill that keeps you moving even when your steering gear and engine's damaged, which again I find is an absolute lifesaver in a destroyer. I can't think of any destroyer where that is not the most useful of the Tier 2 skills. Okay, so the spotting plane's passed, I've got a little bit of time, and there's a Fusion. I reckon that's what we're shooting at. So drop the smoke. Now straight away, do you see that timer? 40 seconds, that's all you've got, and that's a huge key thing with the playstyle of this. When you drop that smoke, you've got to be ready to start firing. Or be aware that it's so short-lived that you're using it as a defensive measure. You've got 5 of them, and that's without Superintendent. So yeah, by all means, the cooldown's very quick on them as well. They're useful, they're really, really useful. But you can't sit there for a long time spamming HE at targets, 15 kilometers away. For one, your gun doesn't have the range, it's 11.6, and 2, as you can see, I'm down 10 seconds ready. You're getting away about 8-10 shots before your smoke's out. And I'm finding quite often I'm getting caught out in that I'm not expecting the smoke to drop off when it is. I'm used to a longer smoke still. I've only played probably about 8-10 games in this thing at this point, but yeah, it's something to be really, really aware of. The tactical use of the smoke is very important. You can't sit there and rely on it to really dish out massive damage. It's got to be as part of the plan. So I'm going to go free camera mode at this point just to highlight something. Here's this Leander. Now he's just sailed from Land's Corner and then gone this way, so he's seen me. He must know I'm here. Okay, I'm matching him for speed. He's aiming down this way with his guns and everything else. He's aiming at this Perth with his torpedoes, same as I am. You see him waiting for him to come around the corner. Look at this idiot. Now look how, bearing in mind, I straight away brake and turn. If I hadn't, that's 2 torpedoes straight into me. Now bear in mind he fires 3 torpedoes anyway. What the hell that idiot is doing with that launch is beyond me. If I hadn't slowed down, I was dead. And yeah, he'd have gone pink, but whoopie-doo, that that wouldn't have helped. Yeah, just utter idiot for torpedo launching. So another smoke. He's within 5.6 kilometers, so he's not going to sail out of range. I'm happy I can start spamming him a bit. I am retreating a bit because I'm a bit wary of his torpedoes, and I expected Leander still to be able to spot him. So I decided I'm going to have to push forward and kick him first of the hydros. Now there's the other good thing. Look at that cooldown, the activation time on the hydros. 3 minutes. It's unbelievable. Absolutely phenomenal. And that's where the real key to the playstyle on this comes in, I think. This thing, its guns, the 4.5-inch guns, and as you can see, they're fairly high firing. I looked on paper as to how they compare DPM to other tier 6 gunship destroyers and everything else, but you can fire at a fair rate of damage. And as you can see, when you pen with a HE, they're fairly damaging. I would say it compares quite well. But you really need IFHE on these things, because the number of times you'll hit, and especially the big ships, anything with any sort of armour, and you're just shattering and doing nothing, even on superstructure and things, it can be quite frustrating. Whereas if you get penetration, it can be good. Right, so this Aigley blade spinner. Right, so he's just dumped a smoke and he's still firing away at me. Okay, there's still 1.5 minutes with the hydros. That's brilliant. So, oh, the other thing I mentioned, actually, I don't know if you've noticed. Certainly this one, I think it's tier 6 upwards where you really start to notice it. Although you don't have speed boost, this thing accelerates like a racehorse. It's as if it's got a speed boost for its acceleration. Beware of that. If you're in smoke and kick full ahead, you launch yourself out of smoke so quick it's quite embarrassing. So just beware that it really accelerates quick, far faster than anything else around. So yes, it's an advantage, but if you're in smoke, you probably need to be half or quarter speed compared to what you'd use full speed for in other ones. Similar to the British cruisers, but obviously a bit more because it's a destroyer. So what I'm doing now is obviously Aigley's still in there and you can still see him shooting, but I don't want to fire because that other destroyer up there, he would spot me and then Aigley would know I'm here, etc. And that Aigley's got quite nasty guns, as you can see. He's shooting away, he's enjoying himself, he's firing AP into the sides of those cruisers, probably racking up quite a bit of damage. And there we go, finally spotted him. And he wasn't expecting that. It starts, I reckon, to accelerate. It's kind of the default thing. And with the hydros on, there's a torpedo launch from him. Massive amount of warning. And if I hadn't launched a second, the earlier silly torpedoes, I would have had a second set at him. But as it is, yeah, well and truly wiped out. Yeah, caught him cold. Wasn't expecting it. The guns on this are decent. This is where I think these destroyers are really at strength. Is hunting down enemy destroyers, and especially in smoke screens with the hydros. The cooldown, the duration of them. I'm still, 6 seconds on the hydros. So although the initial use of them wasn't much use, they proved very useful through this. And yeah, as you can see, at 4 kilometers, if they were still active, I'd be able to spot that Normandy with that problem. So I've launched it at 4.5 kilometers. These torpedoes against Normandy, fairly fast battleship, but a battleship nonetheless that's turning. Okay, now look at how close he is to outrunning them. Okay, so it's another hard turn. He's nowhere near full speed. This is where I get caught out by the short duration on the smoke. I was like, oh shit! Now watch the acceleration. So I kick ahead full now. Look at it go. That's what I'm about. You can get, yeah, it's very, very good, but just beware of it if you're in smoke. You don't want to go full head. Yeah, it's turned hard again, and they still haven't caught up to him. And they finally catch up to him, drops out of range before the second one hits. So he managed to go just shy of 3 kilometers in the time my torpedo did 7, with him turning left and right and left. Sorry, right, left, right. They're not the quickest torpedoes. I think they're 56 or something like that. So bear that in mind. The torpedoes are certainly the secondary armament on this thing. I think they're more useful in what I did against that Aigley. What was his name? Where is he? Blade spinner. where you use them. You've got 5 torpedoes, two waves of those at an enemy destroyer 4 kilometers away. He's got some real work on to dodge those, and meanwhile you're laying into him with your guns. That's when it really starts to kick in. I think this is where this is at its strength. From what I've heard of the higher tiers, the detection radius gets a lot better. Obviously the guns will get better as well, but certainly for the Icarus, I think that's where its strength lies. Is combination of smoke when other things are spotting, and smoke and hydras where other things aren't, and destroyer hunting. With regards to destroyer hunting, I'm possibly stating the obvious, but don't rush out at the start and try and destroyer hunt. You're going to get massacred. I don't think you're really going to be able to, in a free-flowing full-speed destroyer against full-speed destroyer, going to be able to take him out quick enough without their cruisers and everything else mullering you. It's more use against destroyers that camp in smoke that don't know you're coming in for them. So smoke's finally kicked in, so drop it now to try and give, let me go freeform, the Perth there a bit of coverage, and I've been detected, which tells me that smoke screen up there is where that bloody gallant is. So I launched my 2 smokes at him, and a bit of a misplay here. I should have turned into him. I'm not sure why I turned away, to be honest. Force a habit. Like I said, I'm still trying to get the hang of this, and looking back now, having seen this replay and realised, hang on, this thing is actually a very good destroyer hunter, I would have been a lot more aggressive and turned into it. So hydras go on 3 minutes. Now, sorry, this is obvious, but hydras don't make, you know, if something's spottable at 10 kilometers, you're not going to spot at 8 with hydras. All it does is improve your base detection range. So rather than spotting them at 3 kilometers or 2 kilometers, I can't remember what the base detection range is. It adds 3 or 4 kilometers to it. So there you go. So there's the gallant. Look at that, 5.2 kilometers before I saw him. So the hydras didn't help me spot him at all there. That was just the fact I got within 5.2 kilometers. But that was key. Right, so I've now got a Leander at 7.3 kilometers. I'm stopping firing, but I'm obviously visible for 20 seconds. And it's just me here. The scores were winning score-wise, but I mean that gallant was a bit of a key, because obviously now it's just down to the sneaky destroyer and his mate. But I decided that the smoke's coming in. It's worth shooting at. Now there's where the Hydra comes in useful. Look at the range you can detect the torpedoes at, because you've got an extra 2-3 kilometers on that base detection range. That's where it's really useful. Now look, watch the damage out of interest. So these are 4.5 inch HEs, 280, 280, and this is, you know, into his side. 843, nice. That was into his superstructure above its side, his hull. Gone to AP. Boom, just shy of 2,000 with the 3 there. It's come back into towards me, so unfortunately I changed to HE, but utterly love the shot. I'll be honest, my heart's beating fast now because I know he's just about to spot me. But there, superstructure, so the HE penetrates. The damage is quite decent, you're looking 600, 800 damage. But the 4.5 inches, and even into the side of Leander, where it's got a little bit of armour, you're struggling to do much damage. So my conclusion would be, and I could be being an idiot on this, but I think when I get to the 10-point captain and get that tier 4 skill, rather than go for concealment, I'm going to go for inertia fuse, and then go for the next 4-point and get the concealment. 6.6 is a pain to be spotted at, but the HE against destroyers and cruisers will do far, far, far more damage without IFHE, and battleships you'll do damage against them. And the reduction in fire chance, the 2%, yeah, wow. Especially if you want to be a destroyer hunter, I think it's worth it. So that's my plan anyway. So yeah, into the end game now. 6.2 kilometers. He's way spotted me, but you kind of got to get that close to stand a chance of your torpedoes. That if I'd just been able to turn a little bit quicker, that island. I'm hoping that he's going to turn. You see how he's, as it is, he's just on course now. But you know, it's best I could try with it. So now I'm fired because I want to get straight out of spotting range as I can. So turn. Now looking at the mini-map, he's heading behind the island, so all I'm thinking now is let's watch the torpedoes and get ready to shoot him once he starts dropping outside. He's still going to stay spotted. There's a battleship to the south of him. But look at that, it seemed to take an age to get there. This is only 7 kilometers of travelling. Look at that, all missing. Just, you know, couldn't quite get in front of him with those torpedoes really. And he didn't slow. So, yeah, one hit, shatter. 4 more shells out, sort of blind firing a bit. Just going forward to try and improve my angle a bit. There we go. 3 penetrations. Excellent, that's rare. And a fire. But yeah, I have it side on against a Cleveland where I've been raining shots down on him and shattering. 9 out of 10 hits, which are shattering. You know, and okay, you occasionally get a fire, but yeah, it's not that great. So yeah, if you can hit the superstructure, you can still penetrate, but you're doing about 200-300 damage with the penetrations with the HE. Against, you know, get 2 more shatters. So that's my thing of IFHE. Well, I hope that was some use. I say it'd be interesting looking further up the tier on the British destroyers. I'm starting to kind of enjoy this one, but we'll see how we get on. So yeah, not an amazing game, but lots of missions, which is really good. So I've never had that 2+2 missions, but yeah, there's another 2 I'd sort of managed to add on to as well. And yeah, I managed to finish top with 1450 damage. And Bladespinner is actually, although he's not a purple himself, he's a 58% win rate player or something like that. So that was the Agley that I managed to surprise in his own smoke screen and Muller. So yeah, that felt good killing him. And last but not least, so there's the Agley, 6,000 damage, Leander 5,500. So you see, I mean, you know, that's, I know I hit him with torpedoes at the end, but that was only for 1,000 damage. That's where the guns can start kicking in against the weaker armoured stuff. The heavier armoured stuff, that Normandy was mostly fires. Queen Elizabeth was pretty much all fires as well. So yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was some use. Take care, guys. See you in line sometime.